Hey, it's the Empire, Geobox Empire, back to Boxing. Now, man, this is my fight prediction for Terrence Bud Crawford and Showtime Shawn Porter, man. Now, Terrence Crawford, man, he's been on the tear in the 140 division by becoming undisputed by stopping Julius Ndongo for his undisputed crown, right? Now, going to 147, people thought he was a small welterweight, and the guy has been on a knockout streak ever since, man. He's been on a knockout streak ever since. Many people think that he's a full-fledged welterweight, man. I think the ultimate test for Terrence Bud Crawford is Showtime Shawn Porter, as he's a really big welterweight. You know, so big such that he sparred Danny Jacobs in the amateurs. He actually beat him in the amateurs. So big, Shawn Porter is so big that he beat Alexander Usyk in the amateurs. I think Showtime Shawn Porter stylistically is the worst matchup for Terrence Bud Crawford. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I'm not picking Terrence Crawford for this fight. I'm going to pick Showtime Shawn Porter, man. I think he's going to stop the guy in the 11th round. That's my pick. I think that he's going to overwhelm Terrence Bud Crawford. And this is going to be the ultimate test of Terrence Crawford. That is he a true welterweight? Can he really handle an aggressive, come-forward fighter in Showtime Shawn Porter? Or is he going to wilt? I think Terrence Crawford, I've seen him fight fire with fire too many times. When he fought Yuriorkis Gamboa, he got wobbled in that fight. And instead of running away from the fire and Gamboa and boxing him, he decided to be really aggressive and bully him. The same thing with Mean Machine as well. He got dropped by Mean Machine, and instead of playing it safe and not boxing the guy, he decided to fight fire with fire. If he tries to do the same thing with Showtime Porter and fight fire with fire, it's going to be the Salem witch trials, man. It's going to be murder, man, by witch hunt. And Terrence Crawford is going to be the witch that got burnt by Showtime Shawn Porter. That's how I see it, man. I know it's not popular. People are going to go with the safe bet in Terrence Bud Crawford. But I feel like if Shawn Porter fights the fight he fought against Keith one-time Thurman, where he was just on him. He didn't really let up. He was just on him. 12 rounds, no boxing, just straight blitz. Football, NFL style, right? I think he can beat Terrence Bud Crawford. I don't think Crawford has the skills in the will to keep Shawn Porter off, because I understand that, well, he might have the skills, but it's too high-paced for Terrence Crawford, in my opinion. In my opinion, Terrence Crawford fighting a high-paced fight, throwing a lot of punches to match Showtime Shawn Porter, that's not Terrence Crawford's game. Terrence Crawford's game is a thinking man's game. He outthinks you in the ring. He doesn't throw a million punches and throw 100 punches per round. That's a Showtime Shawn Porter type fight. And I think that if Terrence Crawford fights that fight, at the end of the day, Shawn Porter is used to that style. So he's not going to use as much energy as a Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is going to use more energy than Showtime Shawn Porter. Therefore, he's fighting Shawn Porter's game. Now, if Shawn Porter decides to box, well, he's going to get stopped. You know, if he tries to box sometimes and then brawl sometimes and mix it up, that's the wrong game plan in my opinion. I think he needs to be on Terrence Crawford like a white on rice, you know. But I think if Shawn Porter fights like he usually does and comes in to fight and comes in aggressive, Terrence Crawford is not going to want to try to outbox the guy. I think he's going to want to fight fire with fire. I've seen too many times with Terrence Crawford when things does not go his way and you start hitting Terrence Crawford, you drop him, you wobble him, he doesn't box, man. He gets rugged, he gets rough. And this could be a fight where maybe he does get rough. Maybe he does get the upset. But does he do it? I mean, that's not really upset, but does he do it by just trading with Shawn Porter, or does he stop Shawn Porter? Because Terrence Crawford, if he gets this win, he's going to have to stop Shawn Porter early. He's going to have to catch him in between his shots to win. I don't see this fight being a fight where they're just hitting each other back and forth and Showtime Shawn Porter not getting the better of it. I think Terrence Crawford's a great fighter. I think he's a phenomenal fighter, but I think he's just too small for Shawn Porter. I think Terrence Crawford is leaps and bounds above Terrence. I think Terrence Crawford is leaps and bounds above Shawn Porter as far as talent goes. But as far as pressure and just being a bigger fighter, Terrence Crawford is too small. If they're the same size, I'd pick Terrence Crawford all day. It wouldn't be close. But I just don't see Terrence Crawford being a big welterweight. Yeah, he's been knocking guys out. He has good technique. But is this guy a big puncher? We're going to see. Because if he stops Shawn Porter, no one stopped Shawn Porter before, right? Keith one-time Thurman did not stop Shawn Porter. He couldn't even drop Shawn Porter. Danny Garcia could not stop Shawn Porter. Didn't even drop Shawn Porter. The only person I know Kell Brook, he beat Shawn Porter, but he didn't drop him, right? These fighters, fought Shawn Porter. None of them really hurt him, dropped him, none of that. They took the punches. So that being said, man, this fight is basically a fight where these top dogs, these top undefeated fighters, when they fought him, right? Keith Thurman fought Shawn Porter, he's undefeated. Couldn't hurt him, couldn't drop him, none of that stuff. Right? Kell Brook, undefeated fighter, when he fought him, could not stop the guy. Danny Garcia, I think he had one loss at the time to Keith Thurman, could not hurt the guy, couldn't drop him. The only person that dropped him was Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner was able to drop him, but he more like caught him. So, it was the 11th round or 12th round where he didn't really throw too many punches. So that being said, man, that was like just a nice hit at the right time. All that being said, all these big name fighters I just named are great fighters. They're full-fledged welterweights. Could not stop Shawn Porter. I don't think Terance Crawford is going to be any different, man. To knock Shawn Porter out would be amazing. I'll be a believer. If he knocks Shawn Porter out, I think he can beat Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence didn't even knock Shawn Porter out. He dropped him, but he couldn't even knock him out. And if he knocks him out, he hits harder than what I think. There's some people in boxing who have punching power that's just, it doesn't look special, but until you see the opponent get hit with it, right? Now, it could be a case, too, that Shawn Porter, he's just been in too many wars. He's fought so many big names. Is his chin wearing out? Is his chin wearing out? I don't know. I don't know. He's fought, like I said, on all those guys I named, he took those shots. But, there's wear and tear in boxing. You don't just come out of a fight 100% after because you took a couple months off and you fought, 3 or 4 months later. That those power shots from Keith one-time Thurman, from Danny Garcia, from all those big dogs, those have damaging residual effects on you. So, we're going to see, man. I mean, if Terance Crawford gets a knockout, I'm going to give him full credit. But I just see him as too small of a welterweight, and too many guys have tried to stop Shawn Porter, and no one succeeded. No one's looked good against Shawn Porter. No one's ever dominated, quote-unquote, Shawn Porter. Terance Crawford, being the smaller of all those guys I just named, the smaller fighter, I don't see how he can get out this fight. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. Not if Shawn Porter is aggressive with him. Not if he's aggressive with him, right? Not if he's aggressive. So let me know how you guys feel about it, though. I see Shawn Porter just bullying Terance Crawford and dominating him, ultimately stopping the guy in the 11th round. That's how I see the fight, man. Terance Crawford, I don't see it, man. Unless a boxing match takes over and then fucking Shawn Porter thinks he's Ali or something. He tries to box him. Besides that, I don't see. If Shawn Porter shows up, he should win the fight. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. I got Shawn Porter by 11th round KO. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.